it inside.
There we go. That's first visit. Picking up his ticket. I'm going to just come up. Yeah, we're getting the ticket to go back to Tokyo for the night in the hotel. We'll be editing all this if possible. To do the kids up. We do that last Monday.
I'm with a cold sweat.
Hot sweat, man.
You said this were going home with you.
600 quid, wasn't it?
Oh, how much? Hey, oh, did you hear that?
No.
He said 600. We're having that as a first time thing.
20 seconds.
Right, if I bid again, are you going to bid any more?
Ten, nine.
Well done.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But then, do you not get? If you get a swipe, do you not? Does it not start to build up down?
Sorry, I had to do it.
You've eaten everything I've ever built on a slope, mate. I forgot everything.
Oh, look at you. I see what you did there, Matt. I see you. You ran through back door and run and jumped on sofa right quick just so nobody spotted you coming in through front of the house, didn't you? Crafty. I'm not late tonight. Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to this week's Thursday Night Live. Oh, Matt, literally, I clicked live, I looked down, nobody was there. I brought up my second monitor and I looked down again. I seen it go pop just into the bottom bar. Hopefully, this evening, we should have Crafty and Rick joining as well. But obviously, Matt is with us so far and he's not late on this occasion. Right, just before we go any further, did you get a topic?
Actually, bear with me. I got a topic for four of us.
Oh,
I've just sent it to you.
You knobhead. Oh, my God, man. Here we go, ladies and gents. It's just not really good in that. I'll give you that, mate. Here is a topic for the four of us. Oh, my God. There we go. A topic for the four of us.
Funny thing is, guys, you would have laughed at me because I'd literally been to 3 shops tonight to buy some topics.
Actually, mate, I tell you what, one of my favourite chocolate bars, and you don't see them anywhere anymore, do you?
No, they stopped making them in 2021.
Oh,
So I got to the third shop and I Googled it, topic, and it was made by Mars, and they stopped making them in 2021 because not enough people bought them.
Oh, gutted, man. I didn't know that. Oh, well, that's...
The only time you can buy topics now is if it's a collector's item.
Oh, yeah, that's a little collector's item chocolate bar.
Yeah.
What, 4.5-year-old? No, thanks. We'll bring this one up right quick again. Good evening, Richard Bradbury says, would like to say thank you to the team at New Forest Coy for a brilliant day on Saturday. And I will mention it again, mate, when Rick does get on. I would imagine he's probably been a bit busy himself this evening. Well, we'll start the evening off. Some of you may have noticed, you might have spotted it as I put it up there. Oh, Matt, You know, the fish that we're talking about that had a little bit of gill damage and they were struggling a little bit, and I used the CT and give them a 4-day dose treatment for just to make sure and what have you. I come home this evening, mate, and found it dead. So my fish that I got from Vince at 26 cm, which had gone to 47 cm over the last 2 years, is no more. And absolutely fucking gutted about it. And I'm genuinely are, because at the end of the day, it was one of my favourite fish, one of the first fish that I bought from anybody, anything related koi-wise. And it was a fish I always enjoyed because that fish has changed. It was a Kumonru, a Deutsch Kumonru, but it's changed its pattern so much. And I right liked it because it did do. And every season, it looked something different. It actually started life off as a Deutsch Achiever, but I think it just became so much darker that it ended up looking more like, it resembled more of a Kumonru. But yeah, gutted, mate, absolutely gutted, Vince. And it was one that Vince grew on from about this big, a batch of fry that he got from Adam Byers. So I'm well sickened because it was it was a lovely fish. But I did say to you, Matt, it was acting a bit weird, wasn't it, prior, and me getting on top of the fluke treatment, getting on top of all the flukes I had. But I did have both gill flukes and body flukes. And I said to Matt, and I'd had a bit of a natter with Andy at work, and I said, the flukes caused some damage to its gills. I said, how long would that take to heal up? And it was a case of, it could take a couple of months, but it's a slow process when it comes to the gill. And I was like, well, that's a bit shit, proper gutted. So
the problem is as well with the temperature dropping off.
Exactly. At least it had stopped. It had stopped sitting around and just hanging around at bottom, because that's what it was doing. And that was back into summer. And I was thinking, well, at least it stopped doing that. But when you looked at it in the way that it was swimming, mechanically sound, but it was lethargic in comparison to everything else, chasing for the food. That was a steady, just, meandering up. And then it's been swimming around as normal, just not as high paced as the rest. And when I got home from work today, we're dead. Oh, pissed, man. Not good. I mean, the other thing is, what do you do with a especially on a Thursday night when you've got no choice to get coming out? And obviously, I'm saying no choice, but you know what I mean, guys. I've got this to do. I ain't got time to dig an hole for a 50 cm fish just shy of. Because I can't bury it just shallow, because dog will probably end up digging it up, or foxes will end up digging it up or something. So I've had to put it in a bin bag and chuck it in a bin, which is a bit sick, man. I'm absolutely gutted. But hopefully, fingers crossed, that should be the last one for me this season.
So did it have a heavy infestation?
Yeah, mate. There were all my fish were heavy with fluke, but when I scraped in the gill of that one and one of the other ones, I got gill flukes as well, and that's when I thought, shite. But you could see it was like you could see like scarring. And when I looked at it, and I thought, that's not that good. That I'll give it a good. We'll give it the treatment and see if we can get rid of all of them and get rid of all the flukes. And then I left it a month or two, see how it progressed, and then it started hanging around at bottom a little bit. So I took it out, put it in a bowl of water, and thought, let's have it, freeze it, then put it in the bin, mate. That's an idea. Sure, our lass would love that in freezer. But then when I had a look under its gill and had a look now, there was no worse than what it was, but it hadn't improved or hadn't got any better in those month and a half. Nothing, no changes. So it looked just as bad as it did when I first spotted it. But hey, look at that, still sporting the old colours.
Evening. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, don't be daft, mate. There's no need to apologise.
I don't get told. Matt gets told off. You've always let me know, mate. So on this occasion, we'll
we'll let you have a slide. Yeah,
All
I
right,
just
then.
saying, I've come home this evening and found, the fish that I was talking about the other month about the one that was a bit lethargic, and I'd had a look inside its gills and there were a bit of gill damage to it. You could see that there were pieces of it missing, and not discoloured in any way, but you could see that sections of it were kind of clumped together, or little bits had all been damaged and gone. And I thought, hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll come good. But to make sure, I did a CT treatment for 4 days, just in case there were anything, bacterial wise or out in there. And hopefully that should have nipped it in bud and treated it and sorted it out. And it did seem to perk up a bit, but it wasn't as swimming as actively as fast as everything else was. But it didn't want to lose it. It were feeding, but not as good as it's fed in past. But that were a good sign. At least it wasn't on the bottom, sat down on bottom all the time. And I've come home this evening, it's freaking dead.
Fish,
So
eh?
my fear
Only
is,
livestock.
yeah. I mean, it's not good, but shit happens, doesn't it? But it was the one that I got from Vince. That I bought off of him a couple of years back. Yeah, a bit shite, but one out and one to come back in at some point in the near future. But I done a scrape on it, checked from inside the gill and done on the body, and nothing. Clean as a whistle. Nothing at all. Even though it's been there, laid there on bottom of pond all day or however long, there's still no signs of anything on it either. So
It won't be there. There's nothing there in it. If damage was obviously done, and then it succumbs, doesn't it?
how long? I mean, I'm always a firm believer in that if you can learn something from something, how long does it take? Let's say if it was the summer months and I'd have noticed it, how long does something like that take to recover under normal circumstances in, let's say, 24 degrees? Is that a relatively quick thing? Like scales grow back faster, or damage heals faster when it's warmer water. But are the gills a slow process for rehealing or regenerating, if at all?
Age of the fish plays a big part. But yeah, you're not going to. They don't regrow particularly well. But a young fish is obviously growing a lot faster.
Yeah.
Then, say if that fish was 10 years old, it might only still be quite small. But obviously, it's not going to regenerate tissue in the same way as a young fish that's growing a centimetre a week, flying along, is regenerating tissue. So, yeah. But yeah, you probably find that you get bacterial problems that aren't a health problem to the other fish. But if that fish is struggling, it will go down with, like a human would, with pneumonia.
Yeah, so if it's already already having respiratory trouble, and on top of that, if it comes across out else, just
it's just a stressor, isn't it? If they can't convert the gases in and out of the body properly, it's another stress on top of the fish, isn't it? If someone's struggling to breathe, it affects all your organs, doesn't it? It's not.
Yeah. See, the summer months, that's what made me notice it, because it was really, like when you see them sort of like breathing, but it looks like it's hard work for them to breathe.
Yeah, almost like panting, but puffing. You see the gills puffing away.
Yeah.
But
that's what made me notice it. And then I kept my eye on it for a day or two and noticed it wasn't really moving much and it was staying up bottom. That's why I got it out and had a look and had a check, and I thought, shit, man, that's got gill damage. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. It could be gill damage by having to put in as much of a harsh treatment to get rid of the flukes in the first place. That could have also caused more damage. But if I lose one, as opposed to losing loads, I suppose it's the lesser of a few evils. But Crafty's just put something in there. Let's just quickly touch base with a few people's comments before we move on. Cassie's Koi says, what's got a hazelnut in every bite? Topic. He even remembers adverts. Mark says, sorry to you, that Gaz. Thanks very much, mate. Roy Boo, says, evening all. Thanks for joining us, mate. Andrew Murrell says, Cassie, squirrel shit.
Not always hazelnuts in that, though, is it?
Mark Oxo says, evening, guys. Absolutely brilliant weekend, everyone down at the New Forest. Good man.
Thank you, Mark, for your donation. He brought a fish for auctioning for charity or whatever he did. Loads of people have gone mad. The generosity is mental. So
Well, me and Mick had a quick message back and forth earlier today, and I've spoken with my wife, mate. So we're going to get it sorted out, and I will be putting it. I'll post it in on my community post on my Facebook and on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be getting it set up hopefully tomorrow evening because I won't be able to get it done tonight. Where we're going to be setting up a charity event that we're going to be doing for the live. Now, I don't necessarily know, guys, whether or not the actual 24-hour thing is going to go ahead, but we're going to get something. We're going to get something sorted between us and get it actually done. So there will be a charity event live session coming up in the near future, guys. But I'm going to have the charity that we're going to be doing the donation to on the GoFundMe page, which will be linked on both my Facebook group and on the YouTube channel for anybody that wants to. And then Rick can transfer funds across, and I can transfer the funds across that everybody sent in already. I have an idea of exactly how much that needs to go over, guys. So it will be all transferred through on whatever Rick's got and has been donated through as well. So thank you very much, guys. But it will be for Alzheimer's. So just need to get it set up so it's a proper thing. Then people can make a direct payment, should they wish, straight to that then, or vice versa, transferring it through from New Forest Coin to that, if that's what you want to do, mate. But it'll be all done and sorted.
Yeah, it's just people out there. Andrew Murrell way back along donated £100 to go towards a fish to auction. So obviously we've still got to do that and get the money for whatever we do for that to go into, which we can do that on the night or whatever.
Yeah.
But we auctioned 2 fish at the weekend. So they've already been paid for. Ricardo
Yes.
brought
Yeah.
some fish on the live months ago. And I said I did that money to charity. So he's come and given me that money. So I've got it's like fun. It's like, well, got to get it put somewhere.
So yeah, that's what I mean. If I get it set up, then you can just transfer it in if that's what you want to do, and then we'll make it.
So. And then
We'll do what we did last time. Another charity event evening where we make everything and all proceeds will go to that, and then it's easier that way, being linked to that than you guys. If you guys send it me, which I don't want you to do, because 40% of it's taken away by YouTube. So all the donations that were made last time,
it needs to be directly into a GoFundMe.
So I want to make it so that the charity gets everything rather than me. I don't want any of it, and I don't want YouTube to have any of it. So we'll make it all linked through. Anyway, that's just keep your eyes out, guys. But I will post it both in my comments and in the Facebook community one as well, in my post on YouTube. Right. Good evening. Evening. Yeah, it happens, mate, doesn't it? I am gutted. Genuinely, I'm gutted because I really did. Yeah, Vince knows how much I like that fish. Right, let's have a look. We got Paul Windmill that says, hi, Gaz and Matt, and Rick now. Sorry to hear the news, Gaz. Yeah, well, if it wouldn't be koi keeping, would it? It is. Livestock's only live. Well, livestock while it's alive, isn't it? These things happen, but yeah, it's always the ones that you don't want it to happen to. And it always seems to be the ones that you like most. But, yeah,
maybe, or maybe you don't really notice the others so much. It's only when it's a good one that you.
Well, I like that. No, the reason why I liked it was the fact of how much that fish has changed, and with it looking like a Kumonru, its pattern, the black and white, changes every season. And for the last 2 seasons that it's been in my pond, the first one when I brought it home, it was an achiever. Then it turned from an achiever into like a Kumonru, and we went black and white. But it started off live as like gunmetal grey with achiever brown, lateral pattern, and it looked absolutely mint. But it went so dark when it got into my pond that it resembled more like a Kumonru. But then all the black receded in certain places on its head and made different patterns. At one point, it looked like it had a little handlebar moustache, which was quite cool, quite like that. And then that turned into a spot, and then that spot turned into a square, and patches changed on its body, and then it darkened right up again. And now, yeah, we won't be doing it anymore, will it? But it is what it is. Paul says, Rick, the koi we got at the weekend are beautiful. thank you for a great day.
He didn't see half of his koi. His sons picked him, I think, and hid him from him till he got home.
Kyle Carp family says, evening all. Thank you very much for joining us, mate. Richard Perkins, same to you, bud. Was a great weekend. Didn't want to come home. Yeah, I know that feeling, mate. Right,
Cashy,
then,
mate. Superb. Cashy helped out all weekend. Like, took over. He was netting and bowling and bagging, as was Matt, as was Craft. We had a whole team going on. Yes. Needed it as well because it was mental.
Crafty Cody says, Gaz, I'm going to share something on Messenger. What's the panel's thoughts? Right.
Oh.
So, which way will it be?
I think it's his new. He's shaved his beard off.
No, this is the Japanese warrior.
Did you see it too?
Yeah.
Right. This is what we've got, and this is. Can we make that bigger? Let's see if we can.
Seen that somewhere before.
There we go. Right. Nice little toe side kahaku by it looks. So I'm guessing this is going to be. Oh my god!
Nice, isn't it?
That's sweet.
Oh, that's nice, that isn't it?
So that's one of his Azakari Yamaguchi ones, isn't it?
Oh, wow. That's done good, hasn't it? That is nice, mate. Right, so what's the next one? Oh, video of it, even better. Shit, look at body on that.
It's the Benny plate's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that is amazing. That almost looks dice.
Nice
The
fish,
sashi
isn't it?
and the kiwa is good on that one, isn't it? God damn.
That's just shows us that fish seem expensive when they're little, don't they? But if you get that back, it's cheap.
Yeah, yeah, it is. That is mint.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely stunning, isn't it?
From that little toe side, but saying that, the sashi and the kiwa were really good on it when it were a young'un, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a good fish, isn't it? But
That's something that I'm glad about mentioning the sashi and the kiwa. I'd like this evening, gents, and obviously we're going to get some as well. I would like to have a little bit of a chat about things like that, the sashi and the kiwa and sumi and all the rest of it, because I want to learn a little bit more. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I can Google it, but I thought, why Google it? If you don't Google it, we can have a chat about it. That therefore I can learn something, and then other people might learn too. So it's a bit of a win-win for anybody that doesn't already know. And I know there'll be a lot of people out there that do already know, but there'll be others out there that don't. And I'd like, if we can, to have a little bit of chat about types of sumi. For one example, subu. Is it subu or subo? Subo?
Sumi.
Yeah, I want to know. I don't 100% know just exactly what that means. Is that sumi that's out of the bene or on top of the bene?
On the white ground.
On the white ground, right? Sweet. So what's the type called when it's over? Let's say, for example, if you can see my cursor, if you've got subo, so sumi would be in these sections.
So yeah, if that was a Sankey and it's got an amazing Benny plate, but there's not a lot of room to. Sumi's better on the white ground, and there's not a lot of white ground to have the sumi on, is there? So
No.
fish like that would be. Most of the sumi would be up on the red, and sumi on the white it's easier to read. You can see the quality of it better. Most sumi looks good on red because it's got an undercoat. But yeah, I don't know the Japanese term, to be honest, of what you call it on the red. It's more sought after on the white. You can see it, and when it's good sumi, you can see like the sashi and kiwa on that as well, rather than just a bit on the surface. You can actually see it cutting into the skin as a deep bit of colour, which again you can't see when it's on the red ground.
Just flick back again, Gaz.
Which way? That way.
Pretty amazing, isn't it? Even the way the Benny on the back end is filled in.
Yeah. I mean, these two have merged, haven't they?
Yeah.
If you look at that, there was on the sachet at the beginning of that has
They're
now
connected
merged
on the top, aren't they?
into the key, yeah, and now merged into the keywire of the back of this one. But that is pretty mint. That look at those two that have overlapped there.
But that's the thing, the Benny changes on young fish a small amount, but you don't want it to change too much and close up gaps or create weak areas between gaps, do you? So
you can still see a little bit of sachet there, can't you? That's still, if anybody needs to know or wants to know, sachet is the leading part of, the beginning, and the keywire is off the back. And I remember that now from the silly little one comment that Lee Hadfield made, which is the keywire, the back as he's going past. So that's what he did, and it stuck in my head. I remembered it. That's how I do stuff. But the sachet would be the bit of Benny that you can see underlying the first part in the Saroja, which is the white on the leading edge of the pattern. And then your keywire is the back edge of the pattern. But I think then he's got all sorts of different types where it scallops around the scale as well, hasn't it? Or cuts through the scale. There's so many different variations, but I wouldn't mind at some point throughout this evening if we can have a discussion about those and have a chat about them when Crafty gets on as well, to talk about just exactly what some of these terminologies
you
mean.
almost need to, the thing is, if you need to line this up when you've got pictures to show people.
Well, that's why I was hoping when Crafty comes on, I'm hoping he's got some Showa, Sankey, and Kahaku with different patterns that are illustrations. Hopefully, I can't find them. I can't find them. I'm hoping he's still got them that he can whiz them back through again when he gets on. But that is a banger, mate. Absolutely mint.
That's not good. That.
What a quality fish. Wonder what size it is.
I think they're all 50, around the 50 cm mark.
They're done good. And look at those big googly eyes.
Yeah, I've only seen that one. Yeah.
But yeah,
that's to go
impressive. Just goes to show they know what they're doing out there, doesn't it? When they just wang them out there in a mud pond, keep chucking food at them. Look at the quality that comes from it. Mint. Anybody would be proud to have that in the pond, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's beautiful fish.
There's a showfish for sure.
Yeah, it's still only Nisa, isn't it? So
yeah,
got a bit to do.
Quality, mate. Right, let's catch up with a couple more. Thanks for sharing that with us, Crafty. Right. Stephen says, evening all, hope you're all well. You likewise, mate. Daniel Adams and Paul Cunningham both say evening all. Right. Let's have a quick flick through, make sure I haven't missed out. Cashy says some cracking people there at the weekend. Really enjoyed it, the conversations and learning. Good man.
Don't worry about the people there, does it?
Yeah.
Mark says, Gaz, was it in shock because of the temperature? My pond's only down to 12, mate. It's been at 15, it's down to 12. I mean, that's been up and down in that for the last month and a half. So I very much doubt it, mate.
It just knew winter was coming, it gave up.
It's already gone through 2 really harsh winters last year and year before. So it's not like it, but I just think it's give up the ghost, mate, because it damaged gills. Right, that's one. Come on then, Rick. Give us the rundown. Was the Koi Tuber Fest another great success?
Yeah, mate. Best event we've ever put on. Luckily, we sort of limited numbers because it was still pretty hectic. So it's
apparently it's problem, even bigger next year, though.
Well, lots of people talk stuff, but in reality, it's not. You can't get more people. It's just not to say. It's parking and getting people in and whatever. It's a bit of a nightmare. But it was absolutely brilliant. We've kept the fish going all week, so we've had people coming back all week buying fish that were available that didn't want to be in there when it's busy or on camera or whatever for whatever reasons, or couldn't make it at the weekend. Then we probably had our best week of the year as well as the best weekend of the year.
Sweet. That's what you want, mate. Good deal.
Got to be good. But the level of fish that have gone out this week, even after the event, have been.
Well, you still, man. I saw the video that you put out on Facebook. What you picked out, what were left.
That wouldn't mean that's a customer come and got them. They were picked by a customer and gone. So literally, he's come in and gone. I've got a list of fish he was after, and that's what we put together from what was left. But yeah, loads more. There's some stuff we've got enough. We've run out of some varieties. We didn't have many, but varieties we had lots of. Still some real good stuff. That's how it goes, isn't it?
Crafty's put it was 895 on the website and was unsold. So that fish was unsold. God damn.
That's
There'll
the
be a
thing.
few
That's a
people kicking themselves
expensive,
now
isn't
because
it?
that value of that has gone up somewhat. I would imagine. Hey, there we go.
He's still at work, look.
Always working, mate.
Always working. Even on your weekend off, you're working.
I know, free and all.
I know.
Slave labour. Banging out of order, mate.
Jonathan says Tsubu. So
Yeah, that's Subo.
Dubo Sumi.
oh, so it's
Silent T.
silent T. Right. Gonna have to work on my Japanese, aren't I?
But yeah, it's just a more sought after. There's different things you might be more sought after in showfish, but in reality, if you like the fish, you like the fish, don't you?
Katasumi on the shoulders question.
Yeah, look.
Kashikoi says. There you go. Nice one, mate. Thank you. See, I don't know any of these terminologies, and that's why I was saying, wouldn't mind learning a little bit more. Niban Sumi. Black. Thank you. What? Naiban. Naiban Sumi.
Or
Naiban Sumi on the black and the red.
You could go down a rabbit hole in a minute, and then you start getting different names for different colours of sumi.
Mate,
The purple sumi to the black sumi. Cargo
I'm guessing
sumi.
that. Is there a good book, Crafty, that all this is in? Have you got? Is it in any of them? That because I won't mind just brushing up on a little bit because I'd like to learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah, it's the that's the
Just when you get five, when you get back up.
Kagugio book is the one, but it's £100.
I'm not bothered about how much it is. I just want a book to be able to learn a little bit more from.
He's not bothered. He's a millionaire.
Oh, yeah, fucking wish.
A lot of money. It's an old book, but it goes into a lot of intricate detail on progression and different types of sumi and kiwa and what to look for in sashi. But it varies in different ages and different fish as well. So
it's not just as black and white as you'd expect. No pun intended.
But
Trouble of different farms and bloodline traits come in.
But
The
I
different
think
fish do different things.
what would be a good thing, rather than covering it off the bat, like if I sort some pictures out and some terminologies and whatnot, send them over, and then if you
So we've got something that we can discuss it with.
Yeah, and then like what we do on auctions where you bring pictures up and stuff. If you do it that way, mate, it'll look a lot more presentable as well.
Yeah.
People will see it.
Aaron Koi says, right, he's at work, mate, so none. Can we do a vote on what fast food Crafty will be eating tonight?
I'll
Unfortunately.
tell you what I'm having for dinner: beans on toast.
Ooh,
Can't beat that.
spinach on rafts.
Love it.
Nice. Love it.
Sometimes I even put a bit of Marmite on the toast first.
I have beans on toast, cheese, and
Cheese.
Worcester sauce.
Bit of Worcester sauce.
Yeah, Worcester sauce. I can go with that one. Cheese on toast with Worcester sauce, but fucking Marmite. Sorry, mate. There's islands for people like you.
This green island of ours,
And you're not a Marmite fan as well, are you?
mate. Good stuff.
Yeah,
That's what I'm doing at the minute. The encyclopedia of breeders.
So when you said you were working,
I'm working.
Honest.
He's planning his route when he gets to Japan.
I think I've just written up about 40 different breeders. I was like really surprised how many breeders we actually deal with.
That's what you deal with. How many breeders out in Japan do you reckon there is?
That many. There's
Fucking hell.
breeders in there that you don't know.
What's that? Page after page after page. Well, is that the latest up-to-date book that you had one of those last year, didn't you?
Yeah, this is the latest up-to-date one. Yeah. Half of it's in Japanese and half in British or English.
Quick message down there for you, Rick. Thanks to Rick and everyone else involved at the weekend.
Welcome.
Best that they have had in years.
Mate, what
Back, innit?
a quality event. A quality event.
Right,
I mean,
one more person.
I
Tony.
even tried to sell Mark Oxo's koi for him as well.
You did. He got offered a decent lump sum for that fish as well, and he still refused it.
Fair play to him.
Here we go. Rant. Tony, don't monetize your videos so that I don't have to sit there and watch your videos with an advert in them then. I would love to know more about the terms used and what they mean. Me too. I would as well. That's why I think it'd be a real good idea if we get some stuff together.
We need to,
Let me
this
send you
like
some gas.
the finnage and the sumi and the fins on showers and sankies, and then
Yeah.
we need pictures for people.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It'd be nice. It'd be because I think a lot of time when a lot of people sit and talk about stuff like this, and people might say that it's tajime or you know all those characteristic markings on a fish. I think a lot of people don't really know what. I'm not. I mean, a lot of keen hobbyists will obviously know, but there'll be a lot of other people out there that don't. And there'll be a lot of stuff that I don't know, but that's what I want to learn more of. I really would like to know and understand the more, and this is something I want to sit down with Ryan at some point and do, and learn from him what it is that he's looking at when he's looking at a shower. Because every shower I've picked with what I think I know has not worked out the way I wanted it to at all. So I'd like to learn a little bit more about what it is that he looks at and what he's seeing, or because me and Kev, when we're doing photos of them, you get to see a lot of different fish, and we've sat there and looked at stuff and said, "Ooh, what do you reckon this is going to do?" Me and Kev have had a couple of chats about it, and I think it'd be really interesting to get a couple of examples up like that. People talk through what they believe it's going to do, and make that some kind of that type of thing.
Rick, you normally got a lot of pictures of past and present. Some of your fish.
I've got nothing. Yeah, nothing to have. We need homework, mate.
Yeah, no,
We need
no.
to be
That's
sent
what I
home
mean.
with a list to get organised.
Yeah.
Have a look at what I've just sent you in the chat, Gas. If you want terminology.
I was still enjoying watching. I'm still. It's like a screensaver. Just that that kohaku.
How good is that fish, though?
Have you got the rest of them yet?
No, that's the only one I've seen so
It's the
far.
only one that
The
come out.
others
The other 10 are missing.
Oh
the
my
other
God.
ones are of equal quality.
Oh, sweet.
I
Right.
can make the best.
Shit. That's quite. That's. I guess that's just a little bit. Yeah. Right. Let's give you an example, ladies and gents, and hopefully we'll get Crafty to explain all these for us. Right. So here we go. Aka. Entire red body, and we go down through. I'm going to save that. Oh, look, Maritan. A separate self-contained he/red pattern on the head with other he patterns on the body.
That's interesting.
In case anybody wanted to know for next
Is that-
season when we
that
do
does-
Maritan.
Because that doesn't mention the shape of it, does it?
No, it hasn't, no. So it doesn't have to be a circle or perfect sphere.
It's actually, Maritan is used to identify a koi. So, for example, you've got your different dams. So you'd point out a yon dam for a 4-step fish, etc. But if you've got a load of kahaku in a pond, you can point out Maritan by saying the Maritan, and it helps identify what fish. That's the only reason it's there. That's why they call it a maritime kahaka.
They make a nice fish. But the thing is, I mean, all of this is great, but people need to know this in English as well.
And this one as well, look, that one there, which so many of us take the mick out of it and actually say menswear.
Menwari.
And it's pronounced menwari, but it actually looks just like menswear.
But if it's like wide fronts on the head, you remember it, wouldn't you?
What about a pongoi?
Where's that? A pongoi?
Have a look at what pongoi means.
That means pongoi means good quality fish.
Crafty's got pongoi.
Mate, but then in English, pongoi sounds absolutely awful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I tell you what. Oh no, I can't.
Look at the very bottom one before we go any further. Look, Yonzai. A koi in its 4th year, up to 4 years old. Not over 4 years old or nearly 5. Anyway, enough of that one. Before I go off on one.
Sweet, nice one. Cheers, Grab. That gives me some stuff to look up and read and have a yeah. If anybody wants to copy that, let me know. I shall send it you out.
No, don't share it.
Oh, apparently, I'm not allowed to. That's homework, ladies and gents.
It's going to be a koi club thing, mate.
I tell you what to do, right? If you're real quick, write it all down. Mint.
But in reality, a lot of the terminology is, like you say, when you're discussing a vat of fish, to know what fish you're talking about, picking them out, and what those attributes help in the patterns of fish. They make the fish more balanced. When you're showing a fish, a Sankey with Tajame looks better if it's the right. In the fins, the same as a Sherb with Montagura, it looks better. They just look more balanced, and it doesn't have to. A shower doesn't have to have that. And if it hasn't got it, doesn't mean it's not a shower. We still get people that come in the shop and go, oh, it's got sumi on your head, it's a shower. If that sumi goes, it might become a Sankey. And you're like, no, it's not like that. It's, yeah, doesn't work.
I didn't.
Colin.
Cole.
What we were trying to do, actually, Crafty told me to actually rip yours down and say what I said, in the hope that would make you go back to his shop to buy a better one. So I was just trying to do Crafty a favour, mate. Sorry.
May God slap you down with his joy.
You know it's true.
You know it's not.
Send me a message. I'll send you a message, Colin, so you can see it. You can read it for yourself.
Has he got one of them?
What, a marathon? No.
One of those.
Well, apparently so, because they don't have to be a circle, does it? It doesn't have to be a circle spot. Call yourself experts. Need a recount. Colin won.
Colin's always winning. Customer's always right.
Colin needs to be doing koi shows next year. Watch out.
But I guess it's the same as a tancho, Dave, because does a tancho have to be a perfect circle, or is it a tancho is a higher quality being a perfect circle? So
Look, Vince used to have a square head tancho, didn't it?
No,
He used to have a tancho with a square spot on his head, perfectly kind of square.
no, and they're hated in Japan as well.
What, when they're not circular?
No, they're just not a very sought after fish. The British took to a tancho because they thought it was a valuable fish because it represented Japan's flag on its head.
When realistically,
It
most
was,
tanchos start off with more Benny than what they end up with, and then a lot of them fail, don't they? Not all, not saying all, but a lot do fail. I know from seeing ones that were, born with a perfect tancho spot, the vast majority of them turned into Shuramujas and just went completely white in spawns that I've seen.
yeah, they're not always very stable stable colour. It's very difficult to get one.
Yeah, it did. I did. It looked awesome. It did, mate. Squarehead, thank
It's
you.
on the Koi Club.
Yes.
We need to put out the email address again, Gaz, if you can.
Yeah, I cocked that up, didn't I? Actually, I will. I shall rectify that. Last week when I posted Crafty's email address, I put Anthony at ukkoiclub.co.uk, and it is actually Anthony Day. So, for all those that might be interested and want to contact Crafty, there is his email address for you to be able to get in touch about joining up and sorting yourselves out with the information and everything, etc., for the ukkoiclub.co.uk.
To give a little bit of sort of not news as such, but all we're doing at the moment is gathering a bit of pace. So in order to get a club, you've got to have a group of people, and we've got a group, and that group's getting bigger. But before I launch, I needed to speak to a couple of people because what I put together was only a vision. So nothing was completely set in stone with regards to who's coming on board, etc. So we have got dealers involved. They're having to sign into an agreement between what the club can do and what the dealerships will do for each other, because it's not just a case of being, oh yeah, I'll be a member. There's got to be T's and C's involved, and there's a lot of work just for me on my own to do, which I'm doing.
Is that testicles and chesticles?
Oh yeah, but the thing is, if a dealership's going to sponsor a club or be part of a club in order to, offer club members a discount in Koi, which is something that's on the table, like a 10% discount, then the club has got to do something for that dealership as well. So, for example, on the website, when it gets built, they will be partners of the Koi Club, for example, right? That we can then advertise their logos. They can also advertise the club's logos. You know that mean? So we've got 5, 6 dealers on board, and they're scattered around the UK as well. They're not in one area. Matt, I want to talk to you about it as well. I haven't got round to you yet.
Good. All that far, edge of earth.
Absolutely,
Edge of earth.
Absolutely, because it's not just right. We'll have you, and you. There's been a huge amount of thought process behind this from actually me. I've not really pulled much in from anywhere else. It's all been my work. I'm not blowing my own trumpet. I've looked at what the whole community is missing, and thought, right, I'm going to put it into practice. So, obviously, if members want something to be part of, but they also want something in return of being a member. So, for example, Yasu Koi, the guys that do the t-shirts, like my t-shirt, yours when you get it sorted out.
Yeah, I need to get it sorted out. I need to change some logo designs.
Yeah, they do Lee's channels merch. They do exclusively Kois. I think that mad Scottish geezer as well is even got
that mad Scottish geezer.
Right, he's got them. They have agreed. And I spoke to Matt down at yours actually, Rick. But they've agreed to do t-shirts for people as well. So when you get a membership, t-shirts will be part of that membership. I'm currently I've approached only in person Joe Mitchell and also the World of Nishikigoi Liam as well, about seeing if we can get something for the club put together there for subscriptions, or a free copy with a discount on subscription or something, so they can also be part of the club. The JSC, people made a big thing, right? So my vision was that the JSC can be members, right? However, before I've actually drafted up what was going to be between the JSC and us, and this is my fault by actually telling people what my vision was, right? A lot of noise was made, and I've been informed that the JSC will not be members of the club. They want to remain independent, which is fine. So what I will be looking at doing is seeing whether or not, as a club, like they do, they can come and do talks or seminars, whether it be online or at a premise. And I will still keep the JSC as part of the club, but not as official members. So they'll be part of the club with regards to doing seminars and stuff. So, and then there's got to be digital creators that not got a lot of people come forward of, which is really quite strange, I think, because they make a lot of noise to say they're not included. And now they're getting the chance to be included. I'm not seeing a huge amount of digital creators at the moment. I ain't pushed it yet though, or approached people that want to be part of it. Again, there'll be something drawn up for those people about what they can and can't do, because obviously as a club, we don't want people putting 50-gallon of PP into a pond and killing everything and saying they're part of our club. If you know what I mean. That's
yeah, but you'd have to do all the independent YouTubers do things for you as a separate thing, wouldn't you?
absolutely that's the idea, Rick. So what I'm looking at doing is, for example, if we have a closed koi event like online, each one of them can host something or be part of an event very similar to what you do with Vince and what Vince does, but as a club. So if we want to do anything as a club, a collective across the UK, what we can do is, for example, do a YouTuber event and go and meet and greet or whatever. You know, that it's up to them to come forward with ideas if they be part of the club.
So, as a club, and you being not present, like you said, you are the head of it, but you want to become the club to run it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I want to
be open to people like club members coming up with suggestive ideas of things that you could do and events and such on and so forth.
Absolutely, that's what a club's about, right? A club's about inclusivity. It's not about a couple of people deciding that's what they want to do and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah,
right. It's about, you know, having a format put together to start it off, and then letting members run the club, letting members come up with the ideas. Those people that want to sit in the background can. Those people that want to be a figurehead in it, they will have a voice, and there will be a committee formed, but meetings will carry votes. So that's one thing that I will do before anything. I'm treating it very similar to how the military in their messes, which was like, for example, a sergeant's club. Anything that happened within that club went to the committee. The committee then put it to the floor. They then had a voting system, whether or not they was going to do it or if they weren't. Well, anything that gets over the line, then it moves to the next section, which is how are we going to do it, basically. So, you know, it's down to, you will get out of the club what you put in. Right? And one thing this has done is broken down the barriers of let's say, county lines where anybody can be part of it, because unlike the 80s and the 90s where the koi hobby was prevalent and literally running riot across the UK, where you had 100 members per section, over time now we don't live in them times. We live in the times we do now, where the koi hobby is nowhere near as big as it used to be. So therefore, like where I am in Northampton, the closest KKS section was in Peterborough. Well, that's actually still an hour's drive from me. And every time they done something, it was further afield. So I couldn't really be part of it. And Northampton only had like 3 people. You can't make a club with 3 people. You know, what you're going to do, pond visit each other every 3 weeks. you know, it just can't happen like that. Which is why I was like, originally doing the veteran section, which opened it up to the UK, but now the BKKS is going under. It breaks down that barrier where you need to be part of the BKKS to really recognised. So now we can, you know, the world is our oyster.
I was just going to say exactly that, mate. Yeah, now you can do your choose.
And what I will say is thank you to everyone. I think we got about 23, 24 people already emailed in. That's the whole point in it. So the reason why I bought the domain is so it can all be kept in-house, because I have people coming to me on Messenger, on WhatsApp, on personal phone, and it got really messy. It's like trying to remember where people have come to me. If I keep it all in one place, I can hand that whole platform over to the committee. That the committee members will get their own email addresses, etc., etc. I may even have the ability to give every member an email address. But again, that's just, I'm not saying that's happening. It all depends how it all unwinds. You know? I want it to be proper.
Crafty, you said something then about back in the 80s, 90s that there was a lot more koi enthusiasts to what there is now. Where are those stats? I'm not questioning it, but where are those stats coming from? Is it a case that's true?
No, when you look back, so if you look back over the history of the BKKS, and you start seeing the books that they brought out, the amount of sections in their publication was fucking huge. There was so many.
Is that because nowadays people don't need to be a member of a club? You know, we got one here, Dorset Koi Club, and the people that
want from a club, mate. You know, yeah, we can go live on like YouTube now, or people put out content, and there's stuff that's more readily available. But one thing you haven't got is the community, right? It's like in a club, everyone puts a t-shirt on with a badge. We all rock up to the National Koi Show. There's 40 or 50 of us all wearing the Koi Club badge for the UK Koi Club badge, right? We can then present our own trophies, and actually, right, we could, yeah, that's true, yeah, right. We could actually make it into a point where, as a club, right, we've got the facility being a UK-wide thing, where we potentially have got the ability to put a show together eventually. Now, I'm sort of sprinting before I even crawl at the moment, but there's nothing stopping that from happening. You know,
and no wrong with having long-term goals, but you've got to set up what it is. I disagree a bit with the number. I think the issue is in late 70s, early 80s when koi keeping began.
I don't remember these times, guys.
Well, nor do I. But what I'm saying is, you could only get koi from certain dealers, and everyone, the only information was through the BKKS sort of thing. So, literally, you probably had a period in the late 80s. Everyone that kept koi was a member of the BKKS.
Yeah, in a club.
So it's a completely different environment now, where you've got a number of cheers, Gaz. The number of people in the BKKS, it blew my mind how few it was. Absolutely blew my mind. For the number of customers and people we deal with and have for the last 30 years, the number of people that are actually part of that society is insane.
Yeah.
So I think there's still a huge amount of people that keep koi, probably more, but like you say, they're independent people that can get their information off the internet. And
I also think that the clubs aren't always in the forefront of anyone's mind. So I'll use this as an example. How many dealers are there in the UK at the minute? There's fucking shit tons of dealers, whether they're backyard or main bricks and mortar shops like ours. All right. How many koi establishments are actually advertising clubs?
Probably none. But it was never there to be done either. It was never promoted in that way.
Exactly. But but marketing's key. Look at anything that we do with regards to sales, right? Marketing is key. We can make some out of it if we try and use our brain and a little bit of motivation to push it. right? We can make some of it. And the only time that it will fail is when people stop wanting it to work, basically. That's the only time it will fail. I will always be in the background, like, you know, helping, pushing, making sure things are done properly and supporting. You know, not being a dictator, but there if required with this. But for me, I think that we need to get the koi club scene off the ground more. I think there has to be a little bit of investment from clubs with advertising banners and things like that to make it work. You know, the BK.
Are you not missing? If everyone that brought koi from dealers and shops and went on your thing and did your RAF and whatever, if their email was automatically put forward to the BKKS that doesn't exist anymore, but whatever you're saying, whatever club you're setting up, whatever it is, and then they automatically become a member just because they brought a fish from a dealer, then they can opt out of getting information.
Yeah.
But actually, automatically, they're buying fish. They are members of.
Yeah.
And suddenly everyone's included because they're buying koi.
Yeah. Could do it that way. Can you imagine how many people you get on the mailing list? Shit. Right?
I'm just saying.
One thing I think that the BKKS failed at is they done a £10 joining fee, right? But what did you get back from that?
Nothing.
Right, actually, in your hand, zero, other than a plastic card. Right now, irrespective of what we think now, right? If you're promoting something where you become, I didn't even get a BKKS members T-shirt to say I was part of the BKKS, right? Well, what are you buying into? That is the question. You're buying into something that is very prestigious, or you think is. But actually, when you actually see the membership numbers are so low, I think that comes from top down, actually, rather than down up. I think that the ability to market it and push it, I think many politics may have got in the way. I think that they just lost sight of what the world is now, such as influencers and online things, etc. You know, unfortunately, right? Instagram's here, TikTok's here, YouTube's here, Facebook's been about for well over a decade now, and the amount of platforms that push out on that now, the high street's shutting down because of online stuff, right? It makes sense that if you haven't moved with the times, you're going to fail, right? And I think that's pretty much what happened with the BKKS.
I know this isn't obviously going to be what you want, Matthew, but the bigger picture would be lovely if you could bring your ideas and the BKKS's ideas together and amalgamate and make one strong.
Yeah, it's what I don't, you know, for me, right, every koi club out there, right, my hat goes off to them, right, because I really understand how difficult it is to keep it going. And one of the best clubs, I think, is Crouch Valley. Okay, Crouch Valley, when you look at their website, it's up to date. They've always got chats going on. There's always a guest speaker going on, right? That is a club that has constantly got membership. It's got people turning up, wanting to do what they do. They do a koi show that is free to get in because they're not allowed to charge for people to go through the doors. So, you know, whoever, well, I know who does it, but the people that look after that club at the moment and in the past have actually done a fabulous job. And that's, you know, the section has done great, right? So when you look at what they can achieve, and you can then bring in technology, it can get a lot bigger than what Crouch is. And people can be members of the UK Koi Club, Crouch Valley Koi Club, Yorkshire section, you know, the Great British Koi Club, whatever. Right, and you can be members of multiple clubs, and I don't think people realise that.
Cashy says, I'm right up for this, but the only one thing that's concerning me is if the BKKS couldn't get the committee, how will this? I know there's a few on here that might volunteer, but to form a full committee each year.
Yeah, but this is the same old problem.
You don't know until you try, do you? And that's the whole idea of it, is giving it a go.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, Cash. I think that with the BKKS, it was right. Again, I will state something here. Who knows what the chairperson of the BKKS done? Nobody.
You do, Crafty. You did a job description.
I did, mate. It's right. You run a job description through because actually, depending on how big you make it and how busy it becomes, it can actually become a job on its own. All right. But ultimately, if you're asking for someone to take over a role and they don't know what that role entails, right? First and foremost, you don't know what you're getting into. So straight away, people will take a step up from that. And when your members have really dwindled down to what they have, with the power that the BKKS held, and I say that in a light of it was very, very Colin, you can fuck off. It was very, very sort of so top heavy with regards to the enthusiasm. Everything was top notch. Everything. I think that potentially scared people away and took it. The society was the pinnacle, right? Sections don't have that problem. They've always got a committee being built up, and I think it's what you make it. If you keep it fun, you keep it club orientated, and don't go too far down the too serious route on everything. There's a very good potential that club will just keep getting better and better.
The section shows, Crafty, of the BKKS. Are they involved with the BKKS's top level committee?
Say that again, mate. Sorry, I was reading that.
All of these sub shows, like say Crouch Valley, showing under BKKS?
No. So no, this is where every club belongs to itself, right? They become a BKKS section, which opens them up to judges, insurance, and a few other perks. That's the whole point of being a section with the BKKS. You get the judges, you get the rules as well. You sign into the BKKS rules for showing, and other things. So some of the other stuff that's been done by the BKKS, which set standards, right? That is what you signed into, and by getting a BKKS section, it's sort of like the checker train sort of stamp to say that you're following, a set of rules and guidelines that has already been formulated as being great.
So the head of the section, say like Paul, what involvement would he have with the BKKS? As in any of the heads. So one of the sections.
Okay. A section with the BKKS, there only needed to be one paying member of the club to be part of the BKKS if they accepted you.
So surely those sections know what they need from the BKS to promote and make the BKKS stronger. So why are those people that, if you've got 10 shows around the country, why are those 10 people not the committee or the voters?
They got enough on their plate without them taking on fucking more, aren't they? You're asking people that are doing something for free to take on even more. The problem,
like what
you've got the option now, haven't you? With what Crafty said, you've got an option to come in with a brand new. You're not overseeing any other clubs. You're coming in with a brand new philosophy, and there's no weight on your shoulders.
Totally.
You're creating something new that perhaps
new, fresh, and original.
People might want, people might not want. Who knows? You'll find out as you go along. If you've got 500 members this time next year, then fantastic. If you've got 6, you might have to. It's one of them, isn't it?
You might just have to do 6 pods visits every 6 weeks. Which is more than what you was thinking you were going to get.
Problem is, does it make anybody strong if you had 150 in Crafty in the UK Koi one and 150 in the BKKS? Or are you better to have it all as one?
You can, but the BKKS is gone, so you.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Yeah. The new national, then let's call it.
So the national's a show, isn't it? So the show is a show. It's not a club people are going to be able to join, are they?
No.
at the end of the day, the national show is going to be run as the national show, which is what people want. I hope that's what's being voted for. I still don't know, to be fair.
The vote hasn't closed yet.
So at the end of the day, that's a separate once a year entity that's going to occur. But what Craft is talking about is a place throughout the year where it's as big or as small or whatever. I don't know.
Well, it's in early days, you know. It's like I said, if we get enough people on board, which by the looks of it, there's a lot of interest. It has had a lot of interest, and I've only really publicly announced it on here. To be perfectly honest, I haven't done anything else on my Facebook, on any other platform other than this one show. You know, and you know what I'm looking at doing is creating a non-profit for Tony Farmore Coy's. You know, it's a non-profit thing. It's going to be set up where club funds belong to the club and the club only. You know, and then it'll be reinvested whatever way we feel fit as a club. The club will get to decide how the money gets spent by a vote, and that's how it should be, in my opinion. Yeah. You know, but we when we get everyone together, right, certain points will be brought out with ideas, bounce back and forth, and then it will be once we've got a load.
It be a positive thing, can't it?
Absolutely, mate. For me, I think it's for me, it's what I think the club, the Coy scene has not really had, other than what we put in our own time. You know,
but it's kind of happened of its own back anyway. A lot of people that go to shows end up going as groups.
Yeah,
they
but
build their own
make that group into one big unit as opposed to splintered. Well, yeah, I suppose. In realistic terms, that's fucking zero.
Be carnage within a week.
Yeah.
But surely, do you not need to, the first thing, ask people what they actually want from a club or from this is whatever you're going to call it?
Well, yeah, I agreed with that one. Yeah,
what do people want from it?
You need a community or you need a group of people first to find out what they want, don't you? So the first initial thing is to get interest. If you get interest, then you build from that, and therefore that's your foundation, isn't it? Once you've got public interest, you build it and move from there.
I mean, Cashy comes up with something there. So, Cashy, you need to become a member, right? You know, because you
founding father.
I will go back to the questions that have been put.
Right, what I will say is, right. So, one of the things that I haven't released this yet, I am now, right? So, the first 50 people that email through, they will get a founding member status, basically a bragging right. So on the T-shirt, that you will have founding member of the UK Koi Club, right? Because the first 50 people that come in that share their views and help get it off the ground will be founding members. You know, and again, we'll be looking to do things like, you know, in-house photo shows. You know, and if we can do that, you know, there's people out there that can do little judging seminars and all sorts that I'm friends with. So, and I think Colin hits a nail on the head.
But he needs to get out there, not the same. You know, Cassie sending trips and whatever, but that's really difficult to do when everyone's all across the country. You got to get the coach in Birmingham. Shit.
But let's face it, mate. Right? If we get, let's say, 30 members in the northeast, right? Then, you know, it can be right in the northeast in this area. Right, there's 30 people want to go and do something. Then there's nothing wrong. If we've got such a big club, we can then vote that money over to get a minibus and then go and do something. You know, it can be done. You know, the problem is there's too many people out there that say things can't be done rather than focusing on what potentially can be or what can be done. If you change your mentality, the mindset to say this is what we can achieve and put your mind to achieving it, you can do it. But as soon as you say it can't be done, then unfortunately negativity breeds negativity, and then everybody says things can't get done, and then nothing will get done.
I agree with that.
But surely, simple things like you say, well, if you wanted to have an annual meeting, you'd do it at like the National Court that weekend. You do it when everyone a lot of people are already together.
Yeah.
After this koi show, we're going to meet up at here to have,
An
and people
AGM.
aren't having to travel for no reason.
And then we double at it by supporting the National Koi Show by potentially bringing 40, 50, 100, 200 people in. You know, it's a double. You know, it's got benefits everywhere for a lot of people. So, you know,
Seska's saying there, not many koi ponds in the south in South Wales, a long way to visit, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to happen, though, does it? Just because it might mean that a club get together means you get to get a day out rather than not having anything.
Gaz, how long does it take you to come here?
2.5 hours, 3 max.
3 hours. All right. Again, it's not that far in real life. Now, nowadays,
Let's face it, the UK. If you wanted, like somebody made a statement, one of the best Saturdays I've had in years.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to go out and have a nice day at an event, is it not worth a weekend trip away? Is it not worth stopping a Premier Inn for the night somewhere just to get out and be there and have a weekend out doing something that you're passionate about? Because it is. It's worth the travel. It's worth the investment. It's worth doing. It's worth going to these events that you can do and be a part of.
As long as it's not raining wreck.
Well,
Can't help that. Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? You need to get, like I said, first 100 people to actually say what they want from it.
How many emails you had with Crafty?
I can believe it, mate. It's
I've
4.5 hours from me. It's a 9-hour drive there and back. So I can believe it were 8 hours for you, mate.
Cheers for the chili sauce.
right? And the thing is, if there's a lot of members and someone wants to do an open pond visit to their house, then if you get 5 or 6 people or 26 people, it's still something that you didn't have before, right?
I do 740 miles a week to go to work. So if I can do that to go to work, I'm damn sure I can do a couple of 100 miles to go to an event. Not always, and not always is it cost effective to do it. Sometimes you have to weigh the pros and cons of it. But if there's an event that's not that far away and it's going closer to your area, it doesn't necessarily mean just because you're a member you have to attend them all. You can attend what's close by to you, but that gives you something that you can attend. Not being a member, not being a part of a club, you've got no choice of doing anything.
Let me give you an example, right? Of you don't necessarily need to do a visit, right, to show people your fish and your pond, all right?
No, you can do it digitally.
We all hold one of these every single day, right? So little videos like that, and when there's a monthly meeting, it could be, right, we're going to bring up this person's pond setup, have you on as a guest speaker, blah blah blah, answer questions, etc., etc. If you want to be that person, because at the end of the day, it's what you're going to do if people trample all over your daffodils come into your pond. Same sort of thing. You're just bringing it to the 21st century.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense to say it can't be done because it's being done. Exactly.
It's being done. So, it's just
it's being done. Technically, it's being done without the club behind it. Many people have gathered together to go to events. Putting a club behind it, so there's a little bit more structure and a bit more organisation to it, and some perks and benefits for those involved in, only makes it better, doesn't it?
Agreed, but it just takes what, unfortunately, the BKKS couldn't get in it. Someone to stand up and do it.
30 people all stopping at Gaz's house for the Yorkshire show.
Why not? Make it happen.
There you go.
Right, let's go back to a couple of these little questions that we had pop up earlier on then. Right, first one was before Collins. I think there's one there. Yeah, that was the Andrew bit asking about your email. Colin says, I have a question. The Nisai harvest, why is it all Doitsu and Ginrin? Have all the Go Sankey been bought by the Chinese? Not seen Ryan buying many fully scaled koi. Right, hang about. I'm going to pull an hole in your question. For it to be Ginrin, it needs to have scales. And the second one, you can get Ginrin and Deutz in Go Sankey. So
Yeah. He's
there
also,
is.
but the thing what you're seeing, Colin, is the market.
Yeah.
Ryan's buying fish he can sell.
Ryan's buying fish for his clientele that are requesting certain fish too. It's not just what he's buying for us for people to purchase. He's also out there looking for individual pieces for specific details provided by clientele that want said fish. That's why you might be seeing a lot of Go Sankey because, a lot of Goshke, fucking hell. Deutzu is because he's looking for Deutzu for a certain clientele. And it's just coincidence that the video shows up.
But there's been a massive move and trend.
Yeah, there is a lot of
Deutzu. If you run a shop and you've got a pond of Go Sankey and a pond of Hietsiri and a pond of Aragoki, and at the end of the year you've got a pond of Go Sankey you haven't sold and everything else is gone, you're like, well, sure.
There you go.
Customers are telling you they want lots of weird, wonderful, and everything else.
Yeah, the Go Sankey this season seemed to have been a bit more of a harder sale, and a lot of people have been looking for alternative fish.
Well, good. I think there's a big problem with the more knowledge people get, the harder Sankey. Just take one simple Sankey. The more people learn about it, the better the fish they want. But that fish becomes out of budget because they've learned about sashi, kiwa, sumi placement, pattern, body shape. Suddenly, they've learned all this off of people, and they go and look at a pond of fish and go, none of those fish fit my criteria that I want. The fish I want is £2,000, but I've only got £200. So either you compromise on something, or you get a different variety you can afford. And unfortunately, that's the learning of, a fish with the best body and the best pattern and the best skin quality, and suddenly isn't cheap.
Yeah.
What's the hardest variety to sell, Rick?
I don't know about to sell. The hardest variety to produce good ones is Sankey by a country mile. And yeah, I think at quite an early size, you can see a good Sankey. So all those ones that don't quite fit the bill, suddenly their value is a lot lower, isn't it? Because they're just a nightmare.
But we were saying it at the weekend, weren't we? I mean, looking at your Welsh Dragon stuff, right? Some absolute fabulous fish in there. Being walked past all day long. Hardest sale is Go Sankey, hardest.
But I think that's because the Go Sankey.
I think you're right, Ricky. What you're saying is because people are looking for that textbook one that meets all those criteria, and they can't find it when they're looking or don't know what. It's like me saying with shower. I'm not 100% sure just how I've picked things that I've expected to go the way I thought they would, and they haven't. I picked a fish last year that I thought, I'll get one with a real nice kahaku pattern, and then hope that the sumi comes through. 2 years later, man, it didn't even develop any at all. So now it's round at my dad's, and it still hasn't.
No. I think showers are a lot more forgiving in so many ways.
Yeah,
and they're a lot easier to sell because they change a lot more. You got more flexibility, and they don't have to be to look good. You can have a show with a real shit kahaku pattern, still look amazing. The sumi can make them look good, but Sankey, it's got to be good in sort of every department.
Yeah,
and they're rare beasts and they're expensive. So you've got a catch-22 where the more knowledge people get, the harder it gets to deliver what they want in that variety. Whereas you can do it perhaps easier with Showa, Kahaku, and a lot easier with, a lot of the metallic varieties. Yeah, they can look amazing when they're little. People don't read, it's a different ball game. But yeah, high quality Sankey, if you know what you're looking for, they're bloody expensive because they are rare. They take a huge amount to produce. And yeah, it's laid bare pretty much
But there is on the flip side to the question as well. There is a lot more dealers out there, a lot more clientele out there, a lot more people, and being a lot more busier this season for the Nisai harvest than any other that I know of, and that other people have been talking about, saying it's far busier now this time, and the stakes are a lot more difficult to get your hands on good quality.
It's not just that though, Gaz. Out there this year, because the Japanese had such a dry summer in Nagata, water levels obviously dipped. The ponds weren't filling back up, so you're losing your surface area, number one. Number two, that means I can't throw in as much food as I would like. And as a result of that, some of the Nisai being brought out have been fairly shocking this year. And when you compare it to last year, when they had a mental growing season, and you was only getting 3 Nisai in the box rather than 7 or 8, that says it all, right? But the difference is now, because the fish are not all what we would class as what we would expect to see as a Nisai in Japan, they're still wanting top dollar for a fish that is like 10, 12 centimeters smaller than it was last year, just because it's Nisai.
But they had a really good season though last year, didn't they? They had
it's like, do you buy that fish at the same price as you did last year, right, as a dealer? The answer is no, you fucking don't, because it's not carrying the same body volume, it's not got the same size to it, right? So you expect the prices to come down. So the Japanese will actually get hit by bringing the prices down, because they've only got so many fish to go around. They only put so many fish in a mud pond for the Nisai harvest, right? So they're trying. Now, speaking to Ryan yesterday and today, all right, it's like everywhere is gone. So, for example, the Aoki video that Lee put up yesterday, Ryan was fortunate enough to be able to handpick a load of Nisai out. No one else gets that, right? So the Nisai that Ryan's got, bang on. I bought a couple of bowls off of him as well, right? So everything else, when you're looking in there, because you're not seeing the intricate detail, Rick said it earlier, he hit the nail on the head, right? You may be pushing fish aside that you from afar and on a video look amazing, but actually when you see them close up, there may be like fucked fin or smaller little shimmies that you're seeing in the scale that don't come out on camera.
Yeah,
they're all being pushed to the
line qualities that
so
we only emphasize when they get back over here.
The quality, and the development you expect when they start hitting harder water, right? You have to have that forevision of what it's going to do. Is it going to sell? Is it worth the money? The answer is so far, there's few fish that are at the quality that we expect in the UK to buy and sell. So, there is a lot of fish out there, but there's also another myriad of people out there all pulling chopsticks. And then you find a fish you put in a box. Yeah. Right? So if all the cream's gone and you're left with all the fucking scrags, right, you don't want to take them. It's a hard
sale to get rid of stock that you can't really find a market for.
Well, yeah, but you also don't want to buy a fish just for the sake of it, right?
No.
If you've only got 4 out of 8 fish, you don't want to just take 8 substandard fish for the sake of taking 4. It don't make business sense to do that. And not only that, but like you'll find, and Rick knows, and Matt, that everything you buy every year doesn't sell every year. You don't run out of stock. So what you don't sell, you have to, under a pet shop license, care for that animal. So there's no, like the Japs do, in a box over the edge and then leave it in a river floating downstream. Can't do it here. Not allowed to. So you have to keep it.
Yeah, but that's kind of, it's like anything, isn't it? And the amount of fish America's growing market, China's growing. You've got growing markets, but Japan's still producing the same numbers.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's the same numbers of them.
So the demand for those better fish increases. It gets harder to get them, which should be great for us because we should be able to fill that void to some degree. But we just, again, producing good fish is a nightmare.
and then you got to remember,
koi is easy, but producing good koi is hard.
So looking at what I've been doing today, writing up on breeders, right? I think I'm about 44 breeders in, right? But going through so many dealers that I don't have anything to do with. Why? Because they probably haven't got export licenses, number one. Number two, their fish may not even be of the standard of the fish that we're buying from. So we're only buying from the top end sort of breeders that produce enough fish to go around that are of decent quality, right? But so are the rest of the world. And like Rick says, the big concern of outside of China is America. The American market is absolutely booming at the minute for koi, right? And, you know, I've seen early on 72 boxes of koi being loaded onto the back of a trailer, right, and out the country before Ryan even set foot in Japan, right? That's a huge amount of fish, believe it or not, just going to one place in America. A huge amount of fish.
He brought most of the Nagata last year, didn't he? Jeez.
Yeah, he did, mate.
Right then, next one. Kelly Nobbs asks, question for Rick. I'm thinking about feeding pale barley for winter this year. Is there anything beneficial to add or just feed it straight? He actually did post this in the Facebook group, which actually she stipulated on that little bit, supplementing it with garlic, etc.
Garlic paste.
It's something that it's old school. I've never done it. We use barley and maize to feed the carp and stuff, but I'd supplement it with a normal food and just see the waste production and what the fish are doing on it before going, I'm just going to do this, and find that it doesn't go so well.
Would you add any vitamin additives, Rick?
Not through the winter with just pale barley. You're just ticking them over, but as to volumes and waste production and everything else, and what the condition of the fish, I wouldn't go in full quota on it, but it would be something that's worth doing a supplement with either a wheat germ or a low protein food, and just see how you go. I'm going to do a trial. When I do the next food trial, I'm going to try and do a cereal basic like maize or bell barley as their diet, and that's all they get. But it's more eating it when you can't see it because it's obviously sinks.
Yeah, it sinks. Yeah.
That's also got to be cooked, Kelly. By the way, I hope. Yeah. It's got to be, and I think that's why it's something that farms have used for years and used less of, because a dry pelleted food is so much easier to store and use when you've got to cook up. So for the lake, we fed, I don't know, about 2.5 ton of cooked maize this year. You've got to boil up 25 kilo sacks of maize, which become 55, 60 kilos of wet maize. And it's a nightmare.
And heavy.
Whereas a sack of dry food is just easier, which is
all done already.
But it's something that I think it's another part of the hobby. It's like cleaning your filters. For some people, cooking up a batch of pale barley every day, and maybe adding stuff to it, if that's what you want to do, to create your own diet and make a paste or make a food, that's something that people could really enjoy from the hobby. For other people, it's complete. But I don't know. If you're the sort of person that's got time and you enjoy that, I love doing the munga mix for the fish, because it's something you can prepare and change and hopefully see a benefit that no one else can get. That's purely something you're doing. There's no other food in the world that's the same as that. You're doing something that could be amazingly good or completely shit, but you'll see from the fish's appetites what's occurring. So for most people, the idea of boiling up a bag of barley every day for an hour, stinking the house out, it's a no-brainer. It's not going to happen.
Next one then. Gary's Koi. Do you think growing fish so quickly can damage them in later life?
Potentially, yeah. But if it's the way it's done, again, it's if you grow a fish super the temperature you keep a koi and the length of time it's alive is its age. So if you keep a koi at 30 degrees for 5 years, it's aged a lot faster than a koi naturally would in a pond that's going through seasons and whatever. So you'll shorten the life of that koi 100%. But you might also maximize its growth and its quality in those years. And then you can reduce the temperature and give it the longevity. It's not an easy question just to say, yes, of course, if you grow a fish fast and feed the wrong diet, of course you can destroy its internal organs, you can cause problems with all sorts of it, which is why it should be done by people that know what they're doing for a start. Because it's very, very easy to damage anything living in it with the wrong diet at the wrong temperature, with the wrong water quality. It's minefield.
There's, when people say growing koi, temperature difference of 2 degrees can make a massive difference in a koi body shape. If you're feeding a set amount of food and your fish just aren't active enough, right? Even at a temperature like 22 degrees, the food outweighs what they achieve. You can actually not stunt the growth. You'll grow them out before you're growing them long. And if you don't change the environment to actually get them to start stretching in growth, then you can really fuck your fish up doing that as well. I've seen that this year.
It happens all the time. The trouble is, again, if you feed too high a protein food, a lot of people will buy a growth food that's high in protein, high in fat, that the fish at too low a temperature it's the wrong diet. So they're basically excreting more ammonia than you need them to. They're layering up more fat on the internal organs than you want them to. And you're just damaging the fish by trying to do the right thing. You're doing it wrong. Come on, Colin. Tell Gaz that.
Ginrin's not Gosanka. So you can't get a Ginrin shower and a Ginrin Kaka, which is Gosanka.
You can, but it's not Gosanki.
What's
We
it
judge
called?
differently.
Ah,
Ginrin, Gosanki, we judge Ginrin.
we're coming to the yeah.
Colin's getting panicky.
Yes. Yeah, it comes under a different category for showing.
Yeah, I think growing koi's, I don't know, there perhaps should be a set of guidelines which don't exist.
Very difficult. It's very difficult because different environments, different foods create different issues, blah, blah, blah. Like you say, Rick, it's all relative, mate, and there's a lot of variables. Too many variables.
Too many variables,
One
yeah.
set of rules.
Yeah, I don't know if you could. In most other farming industry type, they dissect, if they're farming a trout or an animal, they kill them, dissect them, and check the fat levels in the muscle, the fat levels on the organs, what the kidneys and livers. They do a full sort of biopsy to actually know the food at the temperature and what. But with koi and whatever, it's just not a done thing, is it? It's all you can sort of look, and you if you do it enough, you know. But unfortunately, yeah.
So is that the same as like on the big trout farms then, Rick? Because I can always remember fishing there was a fishery, Sutton Scotney, I think it was called, and they had 20-pound trout in there. But every time you caught one, he would fight for 5 seconds at most,
And then die.
By the time you got that fish back to the bank, it was already dead.
Yeah, because that's with the trout, you put on a lot more fat. So you imagine the structure of the trout, the bone structure, the heart size, all the internal organs haven't grown to a 20-pound fish. They're probably still equivalent for what would be a 5-pound fish, but there's 15 pound of extra fat and gelatinous muscle that's not much caught because they're grown on such a high protein, high fat food in at a temperature that's not, they shouldn't really be being grown at in some ways. They used to use heat lamps and all sorts, like infrared lamps. So to get weight onto it. And the same with carp to a degree in the fisheries. The weight is important for the fisherman, but an 80-pound carp that's only 80 centimeters long, and that's not healthy. That's not a healthy.
70 centimeters deep.
Yeah, it's not a healthy animal in terms of its fat content, its body shape, and everything else.
Fisheries.
Realistically, then, if we're going to say that, if that's not a healthy size for a common carp, mirror carp, is 110 cm kahaku a healthy size for a kahaku? And should we be growing the fish to that size by pushing them as we do when it's not natural? Now, let's say, the reason why I say this is you saw videos that Lee's done, and he's been out there in Japan, and he's been filming fish, and he's been saying, look at that, there's a karashigoi there, gingaring karashigoi, swimming up and down it river with wild carp. Bearing in mind, guys, that these fish aren't kept in heated temperatures, and we're under 20 foot of snow last winter, but are still surviving, but doing well at 55 to 65 as he estimated the size of it. Naturally, if that was in a mud pond and being supplemented with food, that fish now being pushing up to maybe Yonsei would be hitting the 90 to 100 cm mark. Is that natural? If naturally in the wild they're surviving and living like that,
no choice, natural.
I think the whole natural bit.
I know that there's natural.
You can get 100 centimeter koi that has been grown right in its bone structure, and it's all everything about that fish fits. Its fins, its head, it's everything fits the size of the fish. But you can also get fish that might be 10 centimeters shorter but weigh twice as much.
Yeah.
Wider, the heads are small.
Yeah.
So you get, and that's where the body shape and elegance and all the rest of it all really play a part. So yes, some fish naturally can grow and you can get carp in lakes at 100 pound that look perfect for the proportion wise. They're long, they're wide, they're broad. Everything about them fits. Their organs, if you cut them open, their organs would fit the size of the body.
Yeah.
But you also get carp that should be half the weight they are because they've got carrying so much fat. And
they're like that, but then a bit like me.
Because that's how you see most of them, don't you, with a big suspended gut to them.
And that's the food.
But that's obviously part of the genetics. They've been bred. Those fish that carry the weight are the ones that those fisheries ask for. That's why they're kind of bred in some way to be that big, because the fishermen is to do with weights and whatever. But the trout that Matt was on about are right at the extreme end of, are they fit to be alive just by being hooked within trying to run away for one run, then they're dead because their heart's given out.
Yeah.
The extreme end where they just, I don't know. And I don't quite get that side of it, that the meat, the flesh of that trout's going to be taken home by someone to eat, but they're almost inedible.
They were edible, tasted like shit.
They taste like the fat food that they've been given. But
true, I'll second that, Matt. I've fly fished a fishery, and they've been fed on shite, and the fish were, for the age of the fish, being a 2-year-old fish coming out, this sort of size on a trout fishery, and you're thinking, whoa, cracking fish. Bought it, purchased it, brought it home, tastes like absolute shite, man. It was disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they are, that's...
You need to cook it better.
And you can do that.
It wasn't great one. It was bad.
With koi in it, and that's the battle in it. It's not just growing fish big. It's getting, if a fish has got the right genetics to go big.
Frame, body, genes, and all the rest of it.
So yeah, you can see fish at 90 centimeters a meter long that are all in proportion, that are fit, healthy. You put a net near them, they'll take off, they'll fight you. We used to have a male crashigoi that was 90 odd centimeters, and every time it was a fight. That thing, everything you did, you put it in a bowl, it'd leap out, beat shit out. Yeah, you put anesthetic in it, and it would just take off. And you think, well, that fish is the right. There's nothing wrong with it.
Because it was
genetically to go that size is not a problem. But yeah, you have other fish that are really big, and they just don't tolerate. The temperatures, the oxygen drops below 1 milligram per liter lower than your perhaps optimum, and it will just
fuck it up.
Sorry,
you said fucking hell. You said fucking hell. How young I look.
But
That's a lot of years ago, that one, Matt, isn't it? Yeah.
The one thing on that is like we're talking there about how big a fish gets and whether it looks right that size, but actually, fucking hell, that's a young Matt, isn't it? How old was you there?
21.
You've got the same trousers on.
Same outfit for last year at Koi Show. He turns around, he's got a rip in his ass.
But we're on about the fish getting this size, a koi getting to that size. But one thing is that we was talking about earlier, right? Go Sankey on its own is when you see fish like we did this year at the National and at the Great British, right? That Sankey having the white skin look as good as it did, having the red skin look as good as it did.
Yeah, that was
Sumi, how it was with the skin condition looking absolutely fabulous. Not only are you getting the size, you're then getting all of the other elements all coming together to make that. That is the hardest part about koi, full stop.
This is, please, whoever it was, the owner of that fish, is that fish at its peak now? Is that its very best? Is it going to get better? Is there still progression throughout that fish?
Potentially, you don't.
Or does it go plateau for a little and then?
No, it's like every koi has its moment. Like
that's what I mean. Every fish has its day.
Pinnacle. He's getting it at the right to get the fish.
Everything all together at that one.
At that size is a testament to whoever's achieved that. And I think, is it Carl Morrison? I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Beautiful fish, man.
Absolutely, and to achieve that is so hard, and that's the bit that people forget. Some fish will only get to 60 cm and then hit that pinnacle, get to 80, and they start to age. The skin don't look as youthful or lustful anymore, right? And that's the real difficult bit, and that's why the koi show in the UK versus Japan is completely different.
And on that one, question from our Tony. Question with Shuros. For best growth and development, is there a recommended temperature? Can you grow too fast, too slow? Can Sumi lose?
Loss. That should have been.
Or be, yeah, loss or be prevented.
Yes.
Lots going on there, isn't there?
Temperature. Yeah. I mean, if you're growing them too hot, the Sumi's going to hold off, isn't it?
Is it?
As it stay under. Well, the Sumi all becomes better as your water comes cooler, doesn't it, in your pond?
Not necessarily.
Well,
I think there's so many elements.
Or does it just look brighter to it when it's because it's cooler, or is it because
when the water gets cooler, pathogens start to reduce? That then helps the Sumi development, etc. There's a lot more to it. You can actually boost Sumi development by
still in the middle of it.
Yeah, there's a huge amount in that. So that you can't just do a one cut fits all on any development of any koi. Really, you've got, if you're focusing on growth, you grow it, and then you start to condition it, etc. Right? So
it's not a case of growing it with the right temperatures for color pigmentation. It's growing the fish and then developing that color pigmentation and conditioning that coloration, etc.
I mean,
for Kahaku, you grow them as fast as you can without finishing the Benny.
Mm-hmm.
So you put them through, soft water, no color food, get them big, and then once you get them to the size you want then you sort of condition them. Sherries are a bit different in the fact that you don't really know the end pattern until it gets there. Right, Kahaku's got his pattern, and that's it. But with a shearer, you kind of
learning for people like Show, seriously keen, man. Hats off to you, man, because there's a lot of shit to learn to get them in there. It's not just the kids.
I guess, right? It's a lot of people out there. Not a lot of people have got more than one pond.
Yeah.
So when you've got a load of different varieties, right? Look at Lee Hadfield. Everyone knows his pond. Lots of different varieties in that pond. Yeah, he can still bring out a banging Shiro at Sori. Why? Because he follows different regimes in food and temperatures and etc. in order to bring out the best in what he can achieve or what he wants to show. So he stipulates.
Raising your KH to bring out Sumi as well.
Yeah, but again, things like adding clay to food. So a silicon-based clay, i.e. the Bacta Plus one, is excellent. If you add that to your food, right, that really helps with Sumi development. Right? There's lots of small little things you can do. Having part shade in a warm water, right? So you take some of the UV off the water will help Sumi development. But then if you've got Kahaku in, then it works.
Yeah, then you'd have the reserve effect. So,
I think the biggest problem with Shiros is the body structure of them. Very few of them are good for growing big. So you've got to have the right genetic, not just the genetic parents, but the right individual with the right bone structure, head shape, back, and they're in themselves a lot harder to find than most other varieties. And then you're probably picking a fish that's almost as I don't know, Nisai now 18 months old, virgin on plain white with a bit of underlying Sumi, because those have got decent patterns now, probably ain't going to be great down the line. So you're such a gamble.
On the little Shiro that you sold on your auction, it was stunning. As you, what would you be doing? Would you be pushing to size, or would you
No,
be?
Me, that little Shiro wants to be
small body up,
keep small, and it'll be size 1, 2. Yeah, you don't want to try and push that fish as to try and make it grow big, because you'll ruin that skin and the chance of you'll never get it back. That's a fish that's built to be good. It's already peaking. You might better get a bit more out of it. But I don't think you'll be able to grow that fish to 70 centimeters and have it looking good.
Like so when I critiqued that fish, it was this fish has got the potential for baby champion, and that's because when we look at what I just said with regards to Cole's fish that's massive and coming to its peak, that Shiro is at its peak now. All you've got to do is body it out and get it to the right length to be competitive.
Does that mean that fish has peaked at that size, and the likelihood of getting that fish to peak again for the next category and the next one,
it drops off. So your chances are that fish will be good. You might have another 18 months of that fish looking good. In which case it might be size 1, 2, and then it's just going to. I'd love to be wrong for years and years and years, but in reality,
going for baby champion that I've got a banger that's this sort of size. And that's it. That's
the toy show scene in the UK.
Yeah.
Right. So when the judges go around the ponds, around the vats, and they judge different sizes, right, you will often hear it's not ready for showing yet, and that's because the Sumi's not quite up, or the Sumi has got probably another year's worth of development to go to make it at its peak. But again, fish still get awarded even if they're not quite there.
But if the potential
isn't quite there as well, they will judge it based on what the competition is. So to get the pinnacle, a finished fish is what you want in every size category to win it. If and you will stand a chance of winning if every one of your fish is finished.
So if you don't want that fish to grow then anymore, you're not going to push it. Would you just be feeding it a wheat germ or something like that?
I'll just put it out there for you. It'll not grow, guaranteed.
I wouldn't just feed it a wheat germ food because you still need it to body up, but you want to be feeding it a good. See, I like feed colour food to Shiros. Everyone says don't do it, but I disagree with
it. Their heads a little bit.
Me personally, but yeah, you want that fish just it just needs, and you could keep it cool and keep it looking good probably for 4 or 5 years. You could take, I'm not saying it will, but you could take small size champion at multiple shows for multiple years by just keeping it almost freeze framed at sensible temperatures. You put it at 28 degrees and fire food at it, you could ruin the body. There's all sorts of things wrong.
Right, so there's somebody that I'm aware of that had a baby champion and kept it in a cold pond, even in the winter. Well, it's before air source heat pumps. They actually run their water lines through a chest freezer, right, to cool the water down, to stop it from going over the edge. So they kept it in a cold environment to keep the skin good, to stop it from growing. Right.
I got a Becco that's like that.
Yeah.
Got a lovely Becco sumo pattern on his perfect. It's just happy.
People go from, because it's what's all over social media now, let's grow fish. But actually, when you've got them at the condition that you want them, right, growing them isn't the answer. The answer is then keeping that quality.
But that's how they do it out there in Japan, don't they? They keep them in those size categories to help the competition throughout the year. Yeah.
They try their hardest to keep it at the top end of every size class. Yamaguchi failed last year on a couple of his entries. He literally got 1 cm too much.
Yeah.
Right, which totally blew it out. Well, as soon as you move into the next category, you're at the bottom end of the performance.
Bottom end of the next category, aren't you? Rather than
So the bodies, back to front, the bodies, they become smaller framed against something that's another 8 centimeters bigger. So straight away they don't carry the same impact.
Go on then. This one from Amanda's Koi. What's the coldest degree as your ponds have got to in winter? I'll go last. But I win.
Ours have gone down when we're running the showers. We've had the showers freeze and the pond's down to literally 1 degree. And at that point you shit yourself because you're going into liquid minus shut that the fish is just But they will you keep,
1 heartbeat a minute.
You can keep water moving and drop it below freezing, so you can kill the fish and have liquid water.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Water stays really cold, but if you're pumping it back to the bottom, then
if you keep it moving, it won't freeze, and you can drop it down below freezing, keep it moving, turn it into a giant slush puppy.
Yeah,
I've had that.
And Matt, what's the coldest?
What's that?
The coldest you've had in winter for your ponds?
Oh, coldest. 3 degrees.
3 degrees.
Fucking the outside. Cheap Chinese stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever really measured like what the coldest has ever been. For me, it's just making sure that the water stays around 4 degrees if you can. It's like put a small water heater on it. There's plenty on the market that don't cost a great deal of money.
And mine was -2 last year.
I mean, what, 3 years ago, there was like -8, -9 going.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it might have been. That's not last year. It wasn't last winter just gone. It was the winter before. That was -2, coldest mine got down to. But that was the same thing as you were saying, Rick. Everything freezing, pond frozen over, completely everything switched off because it were all rock solid.
Yeah.
And it was all, I'm saying that, it was only that for 2 nights and then it all thawed off. But yeah, it was a bit panicky at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, they're amazing what they'll tolerate, but they won't tolerate it for long. But yeah, if you're going to be that cold, shut it down, and obviously the water will the warm water, 4 degree water will sink to the bottom. So you're always going to have a warmer bit. But when you've got bottom drains, the showers.
That's probably what it was. Probably warmer at the bottom. That's usually my thermometer that was floating on the surface when I pulled it out of the ice. It was rock solid, yeah. But that was my lowest that I've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had issues, because you're turning the water over, you drop below 4 degrees because you're exposing that warm bit of water.
It's the gravity returns you've got to watch, especially if you're dropping water onto the top of your pond.
Yeah, that's why I had to switch it all off, because top of it was just pumping out, and it wasn't that I knew it was. And I come home from work and everything was starting to freeze over, and it was starting to pour over top of ice, and it literally I just caught it in nick of time, to be completely fair.
Yeah, so when people are not quite as savvy in keeping an eye on their pond, they can actually empty their pond by the top of the pond freezing over. Water gets returned onto the top of the ice and then it flows over the top of the pond literally empties the bottom out.
Too early to be talking about this shit.
Yeah, well,
Frozen
I
ponds.
don't know so much. It's proper dropping and changing here. It really is. That Manic Miner says you should have an appreciation night. People's oldest koi have a couple past the age of 25. We do have an appreciation night, just not now until next season. For those people that decided they were going to post some this week, thanks very much for sending me a video. Won't be getting shown because there is no koi appreciation this evening.
thanks very much.
The reason behind it, guys, is I wouldn't want anybody when temperatures start to cool down, and I'm not saying that everybody's pond temperatures are cooling down. I know people have got heated ponds, heated systems, but some of us, and the vast majority of us, don't have. And if you start netting up fish when it's cold temperatures, if you cause any damage, that fish has then got to go through winter with that damage, and the likelihood is it's only going to get worse, not better. So I don't want anybody jeopardizing any stock, tearing a peck, splitting, knocking a couple of scales out. It's lovely for people to share the fish with us, but I don't want that to be at the cost of the koi. So I think it's cool enough. It's starting to cool down, and it's
Good practice.
To look at them. Yeah, good practice not to be colder temperatures, just the same as when it's red hot as well. You don't really want to be netting them when it's boiling up because stuff gets damaged. But 25 years, that's probably because you've used the best practice, mate.
Fair play, innit? Old fish that. Nearly as old as me, 25 years.
You know it's cold when the big blue pre-filter splits. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Gary says, I move my pump and keep it running. Fish go deeper. Mine have been okay. A lot of people bring the pumps up off at the bottom on it through winter, don't they? But you're not getting
yeah, that's when it's cold, isn't it? You
Yeah.
can just keep the bottom at 4 degrees. They got somewhere to go. Ideal.
Lovely jubbly.
We done with questions already?
I'm gonna head off because I've got to get home. So,
Part timer.
Yeah.
now I've got an hour's. Thank you for everyone that's emailed in about the koi club. Appreciate that. There's been a few more tonight. What I will say is, quick plug: Nexus, the new Nexus Titanium competition is live. 99p a ticket, right, for a 220 with a voucher. If you choose not to take the 320, if you win it, that is. Right, so 220 or 320s up. 99p a ticket on Perfect Aquatics competitions. Also,
And everyone that's put money into that, Crafty, you've got their email address and they could all be members of your club.
I'm absolutely not allowed to do that. GDPR would prevent that.
All right. Just checking.
Also, we've got the yard pond Nisai, valued actually up there. The boss wasn't aware, but £2,300 is the top price of the fish in that pond. We've got tickets going for 99p on that as well, and also loads of instant wins. Nexus is just a Nexus, but the yard pond one, there's a load of instant wins available as well. So there's still plenty of tickets available, for your chance to win yourself. There's all sorts in there. You've got Odakan in there. You've got Yamaguchi. You've got Ichino. You've got Issa. You've got Koda. You've got loads of big names, big Nisai, Dainichi in there, Sakai in there, Sakai Co. There's loads in there, and there is Yellow Monkey in there as well.
No, you saw it.
Not the main one. That's
The big yellow monkey. No,
that's in the indoor pond. So
he needs his beans on toast, ladies and gents.
I need to lock up. That's what I need to do. It blows everything down. So
Safe travels, mate. Drive safe on my own.
Driving me on, guys.
Crafty.
Yeah, good to see you. And I'll see you next week if I don't see you before.
Take care, mate. Thanks
That's
again.
all, good night.
Why aren't these buttons working?
I'll
Got
help
my
you.
health problem.
He actually clicked it bang on the same time as I did, then. Vince says there 16.7 unheated at the moment. That's
good temperature.
That's pretty good
It's got
temperature
more- it's
because
got covers,
we're
walls.
even colder than that now in polytunnels. On the ones that we haven't got heating, into and on. So we had a couple of nights this week and last week where it dropped pretty damn cold. And I think I'm at 12.5, which is a massive difference between up here and down there, man. It's crazy.
But his pond's pretty much locked in now, isn't it? It's got walls.
He has. It's enclosed now, isn't it? So technically, with a wood burning stove in there every night, Vince, you should be.
You just got to connect a radiator to it, and you're off.
Yeah, put in a coil system front back of it, feed it out, make a coil system into a barrel, and pump it through and into your pond to circulate it. Job done. Free heat when you got your heater on.
Yeah, about that.
Just like that, free heat. Just keep chopping more trees down at New Forest Coy, mate. It'd be good.
We'll be starting up all that soon. Don't go there yet.
Yeah, I know.
Finished harvesting yet, let alone heating stuff.
Well, yeah, to be fair, mate, you've still got a heck of a lot to do, haven't you? I've still got a lot of filters to do and get prepped up and ready. Not a lot. I'm half done. Half of all the systems and everything are done and ready. I've just got the other ones to get done over the next couple of days, and then we're all ready. And a couple of tanks to top up, fill up, and we're all ready to get the new stock in. All done.
When were your first two sale like, Gaz?
Next Friday.
All coming in.
Well, not all, just some of them. The first delivery is going to be next Friday, I believe.
And who's it you got to look after then? Because Ryan's not back for a few weeks yet, is he?
Andy will be looking after them because I'm off week after. So they come in, they drop on Friday, they come in on Friday, and I'm off. See ya.
Good timing.
Well, no, Andy's been away. He's had his holiday, so I've got some to get in. So getting them in between the shipments mean at least then I'm there for it, as opposed to, providing everything as it should be and nothing else changes between now and then. But yeah, hoping to go get my kitchen picked up and ripped out and back in the week.
I think you're probably being over ambitious.
Well, I shouldn't be, man. I mean, to fit a kitchen on my own in 1 week,
You got to get everyone out in a week.
I can get the other one out in an hour. That's not a problem at all.
No,
Beat the shit out of it, mate. It's coming out like that style. It's literally going to be big lump hammer, bang, bang, bosh, bang, smash it all off, tiles off, retile all the room, kitchen in, and then grout up.
Happy week off.
Yeah, happy week off. Yeah, well, it's got to be done, and it's like your kitchen, your bathroom. If you're doing them, you've got to do them. You get them done, haven't you? Because you need them. They're not a thing in your house that you can function without, is it? It's like your living room. You could rest in another room for a couple of nights, can't you? Whatever. But when you're doing that type of thing, you've got to really do and get it done. So yeah, got to be done. Sick as I have it. Want to see it all done.
Visit, do a photo every day. Doing the worktops. You got to do your own worktops all cut in.
What's that? What's this one? I don't know, guys. You can I think you shouldn't take apart the kitchen if you can't even keep your dignity hanging. You mean my GKP sign? Yeah. You mean my sign hanging?
I didn't know what she was on about then.
I don't either. What the fuck that was? Oops, gay. Do you mean sign?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Right, hang about. What's this one? Gaz, wish you more success with the kitchen than you had with the sign behind you. Do you know what it was? I have to remove it every night because I put it up and put it down, and I rushed, and yeah, I just taped it up. Couldn't be asked, and obviously not very well.
Not good tape.
Have you not seen my bathroom, man? It looks pro. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I couldn't have paid for a better job than that. I'll quite happily say that with pride.
Yeah, it's old school though. You're used to doing it. Sorting out snagging behind people.
What have I done, mate, for 20 plus years? So fit in a kitchen, fit in a bathroom's a piece of piss, man. Anybody that makes out like life's hard. The only hard bit about it is it's a confined space to be working in, which is not good. Yeah, trying to take up an 8 foot by 4 foot panel into a 10 foot by 10 foot bathroom, which is quite difficult to turn around maneuver when you're trying to come through a door that's only 6 foot. Yeah, that wasn't easy. Right, I get what you said. The sign. That was 40 times.
Let's start getting. So next week, if you want to do a piece on the finer elements of koi, then we need to work out close-up photos of types of kiwa, Marazomi and straight cut kiwa, and types of sumi. And
we need
if we're going to do it, we're going to have some armory to do it with.
Yeah, I agree, because I thought there was a few bits within the comments where people were saying they think that'd be a really good idea, because there's a lot of people that might just be starting out in the hobby and have got no idea but don't want to ask, because nobody likes to ask questions these days because they think people think they're stupid. And you always get that one that says, it seems like it might be a stupid question, but it's not. If you don't know, it's not stupid, is it? You're asking because you want to know. It doesn't make it a stupid question if you're unsure or you don't know. There's stuff I want to learn from it. That's why I want to do it.
But then I think we can, yeah.
Rob says,
you can almost
sorry,
make quite a good bit about. Obviously, when we're going through selecting, and Vince goes, "Oh, why are you not selecting that and whatever?" But it's when he's filming live and stuff, the footage is so poor, you can't show people the bone of the pectoral fin or the loose scale on the belly or whatever. So you need, to do it, you need some proper, decent photos.
Yeah, we do. Cameras, pictures, and fish. Rob says, Gaz, any answer for my question? Here's a question. I've seen survivalists boil water in a plastic bag over an open fire. Could you have fire under a plastic pipe, return to a pond to heat water moving past as long as water was in it? I think you'd be better off with copper pipe, because copper pipe conducts water a lot better than plastic. So it retains the heat quicker and more so. So in theory, yes, probably, but not.
We've burnt through pipe, our main river pipe, under a fire accidentally, and that's got 2,000 litres a minute travelling through it, and it still melted the pipe. And next thing you know,
was that underneath the water? I mean, underneath the ground with water.
It was under the ground. We had just did a massive fire. It was like forgot the pipe was on the ground.
Is that what caused the big burst in the pipe? Then is that what did it? Just that fire you had back? Shit.
The car was suddenly we've got this jet of water firing up through the fire into the air. It's like, what's going on there? And so yes, you can. Technically, you see him trying to light a burn in a bag and it doesn't work, but I wouldn't want to do it.
No.
Because plastic does melt, it gets hot enough. So
Tony says, I've been trying to decorate my kitchen. My wife wanted doing. She gets in the way, wanting cooking for God. Yeah, it's exactly that's the thing, mate.
Making cakes for us. Don't get in the way, Tony. We need the cakes.
He had to go home on Sunday with wet trousers. Excuse me, wet trousers, didn't he? Because he never got any packed.
Never got any packed?
He got a spare jumper and a shirt, but never got any trousers. So he came back with wet trousers. Because he was threatening that he was going to just go home in his boxer shorts or his wide fronts.
We had Dave and Vince with him. That'd have been there.
Does anybody reckon Colin got a new book for Christmas or his birthday?
Yeah.
Because there we go. Look at all the terminology coming out. Nobody's got a clue what you're on about, Colin, because we're all at the learning stage.
Right. Honestly, it's mad. I think a lot of the Japanese terminology you need to translate into English, because otherwise it just confuses the shit out of people, doesn't it?
Yeah. Makes it difficult, doesn't it?
Sankey looks better with, Sumi on the white ground, Sumi on the shoulder, none in the head, in the pecs and dorsal. It just looks more balanced like that. But when you start going spitting Japanese terms at someone, they're just like, it's too much, isn't it?
It is, but it's interesting as well to learn the right terminology of it, I think.
It is, but yeah.
But it's a lot more difficult again.
It's not, yeah, it's not so. I think it's one of those you've got to better perhaps read the room, as it were. There might be 50 people in the country that would understand what you're on about, and the other 5,000 hobbyists at the show have got no idea what.
Yeah,
you know, yeah. Some of it's unnecessary. It just adds a barrier between normal koi keepers and other koi keepers that just want to show off.
It would help if they didn't have these letters that they don't actually mention, or like we did just a minute ago, I don't say the T. Well, why put the T in the word?
Well, we're English, mate. I think we need as many words that don't make sense in the English language.
but most of the words from English is Latin, isn't it? So again, makes it even more fucking confusing.
But yeah, so Colin's doing his research. Perhaps everyone should go away and learn about different stuff.
I'll tell you what we could do. We could get Colin to come on next Thursday and tell us.
Yes.
And show off in his fish. Get a photograph of each of his fish and show these different types of sumi.
He could give us an example of his Maratan by bringing up one of the pictures and explaining what it is and why.
Yeah, Colin.
Yeah.
Step into our living room next week. That's what. But one thing I forgot to actually put it in the good morning all to everybody this morning. If anybody would like to join or come on and sit in and have a little bit and do a little bit of it, Matt, I would love to, but I'm on holiday.
He's fucking full of shit.
Yeah, you have. You've just been on holiday, man. How many holidays one man need?
Loads. You can't have enough.
So technically, right, the house staff that maintain your pond and look after the house whilst you're away 5, 6, 7 times a year, technically all those koi that you've got are really theirs, aren't they, Carl? Because they've done all graft and work and looking after them, or you've been on holiday. So many
servants have been dealing with it.
Yeah, servants.
Yeah. No, I think we do need a bit more structure to these evenings. And
I think it'd be really interesting. I think it'd be good.
The finer points of that aspects of Go Sankey, we perhaps need someone that knows their stuff to come on, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. I just think it'd be interesting for me and for those all out there that don't know as well, that we can break it down and make it a little bit more simplified so that there's a little bit more understanding of it all. And I think it's just an interesting topic, something else to fill the koi appreciation gap until next year. What's this great big pond air source heat pump?
I saw it flash up yesterday when Crafty mentioned about the air source heat pump. It reminded me there's an air source heat pump, 10 kilowatt on Marketplace, 100 quid, fully working. Which is fucking cheap. If anybody wants an air source heat pump.
That's very cheap. Where is it?
Clumpton, just down the road.
Yeah, so it's extremely cheap. It just costs you 350 quid in diesel to go get it. If you live
No, I can get it on a pallet for you. I don't even know them. I only just seen it on Marketplace. But if you're interested,
it's relatively good nick as well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
get it, Matt,
for £100. And also, there's somebody down in Red Roof that's got a 7-foot circular, 4-foot deep fiberglass tank, brand new, bottom drain. He needs it gone this week.
Bloody hell.
Just a quick one there for you, Cole. Crafty says a lot, doesn't always necessarily make it true. If he's still watching, I'm getting a call tomorrow for that one. This is when you're looking at Kai, he says, why do you think that? Because you told me it were a tancho or a marathon. Oh dear. He'll be slagging me off in car driving home now. Right then, ladies and gents, we are running up to what time? Going up to 10 o'clock. And to that, Gaz, Susan says, hang about. Aragoki Kai says, Gaz, Tuba Fest was awesome. So well done to Vic, Rince. To Vince, Rick, and the gang at New Forest Koi. I thought having Alan Tate in the tunnel telling you about your fish selection was awesome too.
Mate, Alan Tate, everyone that help's amazing. I can't thank everyone enough for coming. But Alan turned up 9 o'clock on the Friday morning. So he set off at 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday to get to us by 9 o'clock to spend the day grading fish and sorting out fish to help me fill the vats, to then spend the whole weekend helping everyone choose the best fish that, if they wanted help, mate, and then drove home again Sunday night.
At his age as well, hat off to him.
Like, Mr. Tate, if you're watching this later on, because you haven't been in comments this evening, I didn't mention anything about your age. That was...
I didn't mention that was Matt.
And there we got the scutcheon guys, sunskin koi. How the hell do you pronounce that? Sunskin koi. How interesting. Gaz's koi pond lesson hour. No, that's never been said. This is not Gaz's koi pond lesson hour. This is come and learn with me. This is stuff I'm interested in and I'd like to learn a little bit more of too. So we're hoping that these others can fill in the bits.
If we have a bit of structure about those smaller details of koi, the trouble is you do need pictures to back it up. You could do a whole thing on just the peck shapes of koi.
To what would be smart, which would be probably possible to have the photos, is an example of a small fish, and then go to poll and say, does this fish make it good or does it go bad? And then see.
I can get lots of photos of fish. It's just having the time to do them.
The problem with doing small fish that go right or wrong, you generally only ever have pictures of the small fish that go right because you take pictures of them. You don't pick one out of a pond and go, oh, look how shit that is. Let's take a photo of it now. It's gone, isn't it? You don't. It's those that are progressing in the way you want them to that you then take photos of. So almost all the progression pictures you see are in a positive fashion. It's very rarely do you have a fish that you've got a good photo of a couple of times as it develops and then it goes wrong. We've got one of yours, Matt.
Yeah, now you've said it, I will do it. I won't go into. Hang on,
mate. But it's not. It's only gone wrong in terms of the pattern, isn't it? The pattern's just closed up.
All right, guys, bring that picture up.
Mate, it's changed, hasn't it, a lot.
It's absolutely mental. Yeah, it doesn't even. You can't even see the scales like that. It definitely is the right fish, isn't it? If we get the other picture,
and you won't mind me saying this, I actually did a still of the two fish to make sure that the scales tallied up, and they did.
They do, because looking at that, I'm starting to think, shit, did I do the double Rooney on you? But I'm pretty sure I did.
It certainly looked like it. I have done that.
Yeah.
But
I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know when the colour changed because it went really dark, so you couldn't see the brown and grey definition when it was hot. And then it got grown on when the hit series, and then next thing it was just brown. Well, let's see the picture.
Yeah, I'm just trying to send the video now.
So we've got there, hang about, a belated Dave. I did drop you one on Facebook, mate, to say happy birthday, but to Rocky Boy, who says he's only 54, don't listen to Vince, LOL. Many happy returns, mate, belated from us and everybody else watching.
Yesterday, yeah, he's proper 74 now.
There you go, mate.
Right, that way. My God, man. Shit. How much is that? I mean, that's more than what I thought it was, to be fair.
Yeah, look at the original photo. That has, it's come up huge amounts, isn't it?
It's almost like, oh, I am going to do this again tomorrow and have a look at it because it's almost like too much.
Oh, it's 100% definitely the same fish, but boy, that's. But is there a chance that might retract back again?
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. Also, a big part of it is where the fish has grown and filled out. The scales look like they were dropping further down the body and look really big on it. And now the fish has grown and filled out. The scales look like they're much smaller. They're a lot less.
But it's the head. How did the head go from that grey colour to a brown colour?
Well, because it's changed. If it was golden corn, everyone would go, oh, yeah, that's what they do. You need to get a proper still. Have you got the still of it? You said you had a still of it.
No.
But yeah, this I think that.
So Mike Thompson, take a picture of yours. Because my opinion, that's very similar.
So this is the bowl of fish the customer took on Tuesday. There's some bangers in there.
Yeah, that green Aragoki Chag, mate. Like that, I know. That's stunning.
But yeah, so he's got a very similar one in the bowl there, a nice Ginrin Aragoki. Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean it will go the same way, does it?
No, but the problem is because it's only a variety we've been doing for a few years. I've not seen the progression of them. They might all climb up to a point. So you want to be buying those with almost all grey to start with to get the pattern length.
So that they become as Matt's were at the time of purchase.
Yeah, well, but it's not the colour that looks the biggest difference. It's the size of the scales on that original photo.
Yeah, on the original there was more
right down over the fish, didn't they?
Yeah,
and it looks really mad. But obviously the fish has grown a lot, but it's like the scales haven't, and the fish obviously it's widened up, isn't it? You need to take a nice still shot, just double check the scalation, but it is the same fish. But you wouldn't believe it was the same fish, would you?
No, not at all, no. Evening all, just had a notification on my phone.
But Matt, you have to go back through your phone and the opposite way round, all those here at Surrey, if we got the original pictures of them, because they've done pretty mad things as well. I mean, they don't look like the same fish that come back. Obviously, again, they are the same fish, but I don't know if we ever took an original photo when they were 12 to 15 centimetre, whatever they were.
Look at this. Tony, you had your fill, chap. I think they only found 5 fish left in that tank after you'd finished.
Mate, right, that's a nice thing, isn't it? Having little ones for people to go through. So all the little fish we had out were already all hand-picked. So they were nice little fish, not just all the chaffers.
The chaffers. Oh, here we got Aragoki. Are those from Japan? They're Shinodas.
Shinodas, yeah.
But they're the ones I took off of Matt last year that were little shitty.
Diddlers and grown onto that.
They looked, I won't say rank, but they didn't look like that when they come back.
Nice red colour, aren't
they? This summer they went from they come on an absolute treat.
Yeah,
it's weird though. It's only probably been in the last 3-4 months have come on there, isn't it?
Yeah, they didn't look good. When did they get moved into the? Yeah, probably.
And have those been out in mud ponds?
No, they were
Being indoor raised.
Looking about different places with batches of fish, but at June they still looked really insipid, and then suddenly in 3 months, the last 3 months, they've really come good. Sort of June, July, August, through that real hot spell, they just blossomed, and I went from not wanting to keep any to actually wanting to keep some, but it's too late. They're gone. But yeah, if we could find the original picture, I don't know. I don't think I've got
What they look like.
We would do. Definitely, we would have. It's just finding it. I just looking. It's scary when I see how many pictures we send each other.
So you get tons and tons of videos to go through.
Yeah, it would have been.
Going to bring it to a close, gents. I'm going to say thank you very much to everybody for joining us, because Matt has just stated there, it's scary how many pictures we send each other. We could be here all night for more koi appreciation without the koi appreciation. And Matt
You could
sending
go through pictures, yeah.
pictures.
So yeah, I think if we're going to do something next week on Sumi style or elements of sashi and kiwa and whatever, then we need to be prepared.
Yeah, we 100%. I wanted to know exactly what that particular one meant. So, but there's lots of categories and stuff like that, which I think we can do and get something organised for, and then put something together for you all guys. So, right, guys, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us again this evening. Big thanks to Crafty, who's been on and joined us and stayed at work whilst he was there doing it for us. Rick from New Forest Guy, Matt from Our Koi Dorset, and obviously, guys, yourselves for joining us every week in, week out. Usual thing, guys, if you've been enjoying this kind of content, do us a huge favour. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and until next week, keep smiling, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Good night, all.
Adios.
Matt, topic for next week, mate.
They've been discontinued since 2020.
Oh, here we go.
This has been one hell of an experience.
Have a look at that.
New change in the garden. I made a little seat area. Into the little bush so you can sit inside and view the pond.